Hello friends, this is Tech Byte. Let's have today's bite. Snapdragon 617 or Snapdragon 801 common misconceptions. Things aren't also black and white, especially when it comes to technology. Common misconceptions among public like more megapixels mean better quality and more cores mean better performance are tough to correct without a proper explanation. In this video, we'll be taking a look at two processors in detail. The Snapdragon 617 and Snapdragon 801 from Qualcomm in particular, to see how they stack up against each other and which one is the better choice for you. If you're thinking what is the point of a comparison between these two processors, then let me explain. Take two of the newest entrants to the Indian market, for example, the Zuk Z1 and the Moto G4 Plus. Both these smartphones are great in their own right, but one major confusion between readers and consumers is the processor. The Snapdragon 801 is a flagship-grade chipset, but it's quite old, while the newer Snapdragon 617 chipset is newer, but the nomenclature seems to suggest lower performance. What is the reality though, especially since both these are priced at the same range? The Snapdragon 801 was introduced in February 2014 and was featured on several high-end smartphones back in the day. The Snapdragon 617 was introduced in September 2015 and has become an ideal choice amongst manufacturers for mid-ranger smartphones. Let's start with the similarities between the two chipsets. Both of these are based on the 28 nanometers manufacturing process and support 802.11 AC Wi-Fi LTE, and both make use of LPDDR3 memory technology. The Snapdragon 801 is a quad-core processor, while the Snapdragon 617 is an octa-core processor. Despite the lower core count, the 801 has a faster clock speed, 4 times 2.5 GHz, compared to the 617, 8 times 1.2 GHz. The 617 though has a big little architecture that allows intelligent switching between each set of 4 cores to maximize performance and efficiency. Based on the kind of activity the user is performing, the device will choose a set of cores to perform the task. Gaming and other intensive activities will make use of the more powerful cores, while the basic functions will make use of the less powerful cores to conserve battery. The 801 has a higher RAM speed of 933 MHz compared to the 617, which has 800 MHz. The former also has more memory channels, 2 versus 1, and a much higher memory bandwidth, 14.9 GB per second versus 6.4 GB per second. This means that the 801 will allow for much faster read-write speeds and also faster data transfer between memory and CPU. It also supports eMMC 5.0 compared to 4.7 on the 617, which will give superior data transfer speeds. The 617 supports 64-bit while the 801 supports only 32-bit, which means that the former can support more than 4 GB of RAM while the 801 can support only up to 4 GB of RAM. However, that isn't much of an advantage, since most 617 powered devices come with either 2 or 3 GB of RAM and rarely with 4 GB of RAM. However, the processor will allow you to run 64-bit applications on your phone. The Snapdragon 801 supports 4K video recording while the 617 doesn't support it. The 617 comes with the latest Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 compatibility, while the 801 is only Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 compatible. Similarly, the Snapdragon 617 supports up to Cat7 LTE while the 801 supports up to Cat4 LTE. However, in India, where we are yet to achieve speeds of Cat4 itself, it doesn't matter as much as some of the other differences. Overall, both the chipsets are quite powerful, and in terms of performance, both do a great job. However, despite being 2 years old, the Snapdragon 801 does have some advantages over the 617, even if it is by a small margin. Where the Snapdragon 617 does really make a big difference is the charging speeds as well as the 64-bit support. Which processor is the one that you favor? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe us for more awesome informations and news.